Okay, let's go. Pb1.
Okay, this one about Pb1. So the first subject is about translation, still about present perfect tense. But here talk about sudah selesai. So there is a definition here, sudah selesai. So I have and luckily we have a real example. Like I give an example here for by using when we use present perfect tense, sudah selesai or means sudah selesai, or talk about something sudah selesai. Darren, just before the class start, he just he wrote the speaking project, the work project in the class. But when I just start, he already kept it in his book, his bag, and then I take that condition as an example. I asked the rest of the student, like, is Darren still doing this work project now? And then they look at Darren. Now Darren open translation book. It means Darren don't do this work project again. So it means, for your information, before the class start, Darren did this the work project, but now it have finished.
It
Yes,
has.
yeah, it has finished. So we can use present perfect here because Darren now do not do the work project again because he has finished it before the class start. So it means we can use on that condition or tell something or an activity that we have done, but we can give it a duration or the time.
I think your explanation to your kids of pre-basic one is very hard to understand. Just mention about when you go to uh, present perfect. This is something that sudah atau belum, only that.
Yeah, already that one, sir.
So it will be easier for the students to absorb or to accept the explanation that we give. Continue.
Okay,
And
next.
then uh, before you, when you start the before you start the lesson, what kind of scene setting did you do over here?
This one, because this one about translation, I opened the previous quiz of the last week, and that is still about present perfect tense, pattern B. So I review a little bit, like I show 1 to 5 or 4 quiz or question, and then I ask them to translate orally, and then after finish 5 question or 4 question, I go to I open the translation book, and then I review a little bit about the present perfect, and then I review or ask them about what is the differences between pattern A and pattern B. And then I told them this one we have pattern A and pattern B. It means you will find a mixed pattern here. So I explain about the formula again, and then I go to the questions.
Okay.
The first, because this one kind of mixed question. I mean, they are pattern A and pattern B. So I will give them an example first. Like,
So in this part, I believe that what is the first step what you should do, because this one is mixed between pattern A and pattern B. What should we do first, do you think, before they do this exercise?
the first, I ask them to read all the question, and then I ask them what pattern is it, or is there any verb on number one? Like yes, they will say yes because this one menulis they have
So when you have this one, when you have this kind of mixed pattern, you have to write down the pattern first, 1 until 12, all the 10 pattern, like number 1 what pattern, number 2 what pattern. So the instructions always when the when the exercise is mixed pattern, we should write down the pattern. You should write down the pattern first.
Yes.
Something like that. So, like number one, what pattern is it? Number two, what pattern is it? What about you? What pattern is it? Number one.
Number one pattern A, sir.
So you write down pattern A there. Okay. Next.
Only until page 76, sir. Until this one only, sir. Until this mix question. And after this, I also give an additional quiz by my own.
No need additional quiz for this. No need additional quiz. So they should answer this.
Yeah, but just on that week, I give 2 questions only, sir, like to test them on them. To test them.
So this one, how many numbers they should answer?
12.
12.
I help them number one. It means 11. They have 11 questions that they have to answer by themselves.
12 for how many hours?
I think 20 minutes or 15 to 20.
After that, what is the activity?
I give the additional quiz and then I go to story fun book. And before this, I also ask them to write a new vocabulary, like this one, celebrate. I ask them to write from the first.
No, just tell me first the step of this. From the first until you check their answer.
The first, I explain about present perfect tense, and then I go to the pattern A, pattern B. Then I explain a little bit about the formula. And then I go to the difficult words. Is there any difficult words here? And then I ask them to do by themselves. And then
you ask them to do by themselves. How long is it? And then also, how do you? What is the duration for this one? Until you check it.
I didn't tell them about the duration, sir, but I will check all the answer on 15 or 20 minutes for this one. If they haven't finished, I will help them.
Okay, wait.
Next subject.
Yeah.
Next, we have Mrs. Day's Garden. So the first is I will ask them to read per what we call it, per paragraph. Like for this paragraph should be read by Darren, and then the second is Kenshin, and so on until finish. Before I ask them to read, the first is I ask them to look at the picture. Like what can you see? They will mention one by one. If they do not mention something or some object here, I will point and then ask them what is it, like what is it, and then what color, and so on. And then I go to the text. I ask them to read one by one, and then after they read, I will ask them to find out the difficult word, or if the words I think they don't know the words, I will ask them like what the meaning of code, like that, and then they will answer domba, and then I will like this is not domba but kambing. I will ask them to write down on above the words, like this one should be kambing, and then how about farm.
Try to explain this one like you pretend as a teacher to explain your students about this part. I mean, please explain to me, and then just pretend like I am your students of pre-basic 1.
Okay, the first is like, Darren, what can you see in this picture? Tell me what can you see. Darren will answer like car, house, girl, and so on. And also Kenshin, Marlon, Hua, and Aurelie. And then if they do not, for example, they do not mention the pink one, and then I will ask like what we call this or what it is. They will answer like clothes or dress. And then after this picture finish, I go to, I will ask like how many dog can you see or how many cows can you see, and so on. Then I go to the second picture, this one, what can you see or what color is the truck and the bus, and then according to you, who is it and who is it, like that. And then so on, and also the third and the fourth picture. Then after that, I asked them to read like, okay, now please Darren, read this one, like this, the first sentence to garden, and I go to the second one.
What is the skill? I mean, like in this, what the name? This one, story fund.
Yeah, study fun.
In the story fund, when they read, what is the aspect that you try to teach or train?
Mm, the difficult words, and then the understanding about the text, and also how to read the words or the story.
I mean, when you ask them to read, what kind of skill that you want they have?
Their reading skill. I mean,
Yeah.
how to pronounce a words, and then uh, they have to able to understand what is the story talk about.
Yes, of course, this one's like the accuracy, all right,
Oh,
and also the voice, all right, and also should not be wavy, you know, right?
yeah.
Should not be wavy. I mean, should not be wavy when they read, of course, something like that. And then they should read clearly and so on. Many aspects. I mean, okay. After that, what exercise they have?
Um, this
What exercise is it?
this one, sir. So the first is I ask them to read the direction like usual. Look, count, and write. What the meaning of look, count, and write? And then this one you have to look at the picture here and then put and then count based on the object on the question. For example, number one, cows. Look, how many cows can you see? Then they have to count and then put the number here by writing the number. And then also part B, look and number the picture. This one you have to arrange what come first or what happened first, and then to the end. There are 6 pictures, so you have to arrange start from what happened first, and then what come the next, and until the sixth or the last
Okay.
condition. And then I go to the C. This one I ask them what is the meaning of these words in the boxes, like clothes, what the meaning of clothes, animals, bus, farm, and truck. And then I ask them to fill in the blanks, like Mr. Gray has got lots of animal on his. You have to understand what is the question talk about, or yes, what is the question talk about, and then you have to match take one of these words in the box into the blanks. Like number 2, Mr. Gray drives his blanks to town. According to you, what is Mr. Gray drive? Drive means mengemudi. So what Mr. Gray drive to go to a town, and so on. So
All right. Next,
only this.
until page 32.
Yeah.
Can you go to the next lesson?
Next is we have story fun. It is about still about Still on unit 4, talking about telling time. So I here, because the last week activity about flashcard of telling time, so I review again. I show them the flashcard one by one, and then I ask them to tell the time. Like I show 1 o'clock, and then they have to say in English by using it's in front of the sentence, like it's 1 o'clock, and then I change into the next card, and so on. So and then I ask them to listen. This one, it's 12 o'clock. How do we know this one 12 o'clock? We have to look at the long and short needle on the clock here. We can see if it is after the hour, there is no minute here. It means o'clock, or the Indonesian is tepat. It means that there is no minute on beside the hours. And then I ask them to read this time by using its first, one by one. Like Darren first, I will point one of the picture, and then Darren
So
will.
how do you try to uh, do they use the simple one or the British one for this
Simple
clock?
one, sir.
Huh?
The simple one.
For example, this one 10, they will say 10:15
Yes, 10:15.
in the audio.
Yeah.
It's not
15 to
quarter past
no.
10.
10 past quarter noon.
Huh?
Yeah, no. Like 10:15. That's why I teach them like based on
Simple
the
one.
audio.
Next.
Next is this one. They have to make a simple conversation. So I will ask them to come in front to student to come in front, like who are Aurelie, who will have to ask about what time is it while pointing one of the picture, and then Aurelie will answer like it's 10:45, and then I ask what to sit down, and then I ask Darren to come, and then Aurelie ask, Darren answer, and like that, so until finish.
All right. Next.
Then I go to the question. Here, the first is because this one listen and check. They have to listen. It means when I play the audio, they have to listen, and then they have to check which time that mentioned by the audio. Before that, I will ask them to mention first, and then like what time is it. If they keep silent, I will ask them to focus on the short needle first. For example, this one, the short needle is on 9. It means, and the long needle is on 12. It means this one 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And so on.
Okay. Next. Can you scroll up
Up,
until
up.
that? Until this is also.
Yeah. Until this. Till this page.
No.
30th page.
Scroll down. What about this?
This one, sir.
Yeah.
This one, I will play the audio first, and then I will ask them to follow to repeat after the audio, like odd odd dot, and then odd odd pot, ox ox fox, and so on. And then I ask them to.
What do you call this one, like odd ox and clock ox like that?
I ask them this one a sound sound in English. So this one, we have sound odd, ox, and ox.
All right, thank you. Next.
Next is we have.
Next lesson, I mean.
That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you.